Aloha, it's Creativenametostandout again with another battle report. So this is one of 4 battle reports that I took pictures for, but I never posted online. I really didn't have a lot of time during the fall. This one occurred in December, and it's against a very heavy Night Goblin themed list with Skarsnik. So it's 2,500 points, and we'll see how it goes. So here's my army, 34 executioners with 18 witches next to them. On my far left, I have 2 units of 5 Dark Riders. They have crossbows and shields. They're going to move up and try to flank his army. On my far right, you can see that I have the 48 spearmen in the distance, but the unit next to them, next to the pond and the cauldron and the witches, are all off the board. That's because when Skarsnik plays, he rolls a d6 for each of your units, and every 6 delays your unit, and they don't come on until your movement phase. So they're going to start off the board. That kind of stinks. Never like having the general off the board, but we'll see how it goes. In my opponent's side, he has a Mingler Squig in the far right corner. In the center, he has his Savage Orks, the unit of Squig Hoppers, I think they are, or it's just a Squig herd, I think. And then you have another Mangler Squig, 5 Squig Hoppers in front of a giant horde of Night Goblins. I think they're 50 plus strong. They have Skarsnik, a BSB. They may even have another Night Goblin Shaman, but I don't remember. On his left side, he has the Doom Diver, then his Black Orks, another unit of 5 Mangler Squigs, and finally a unit of 20 Night Goblins with short bows. Both his units have, what are they called? Fanatics. So we go into Vanguard, my Dark Riders move forward, and hopefully scout the enemy. And then here we go. Orks, first turn. Alright, so my opponent doesn't have any charges to declare. He just starts moving his units forward. The random movement stuff goes first, of course. You can see that the Squig Hoppers barely miss getting into my Dark Riders. Looks lucky there. And then his center moves forward. Things are kind of congested. And then, of course, his far right moves forward also. And that's pretty much it. Another shot of those squigs. Alright, so my first turn I have a pretty easy decision. I'm going to charge the Squig Hoppers with my Dark Riders. I should win that pretty easily. Probably kill them all, maybe, I don't know. And then it looks like here my general did start on the board already because of the next couple pictures I see coming up. But here my cauldron and my witches come on the board, and I want to keep them with the rest of my army, so I'm going to forfeit a turn. He doesn't have any shooting hardly, and so there's no rush to move forward. Here's another picture of my witches on the right moving forward. And here's a picture showing that my general was already on the board because she's moving forward. In the magic and or shooting phase, I kill these Squig Hoppers pretty easily. And then in close combat, I killed the Squig Hoppers, but I must have left one alive, failed to restrain, and I had to pursue them. And unfortunately, that brings the Dark Riders into a fight they have no business being in. So they're over there with Black Orks, and they're going to die a quick death. Alright, so we go into my turn, or no, his turn, and he moves his Mangler Squig forward, sorry, and his other Mangler Squig just shoots across the board, and really, he just gets into my spearmen, and that was a shock, and it's also a problem because I don't have anything to deal with it. But he doesn't do that many casualties, so I know at this point I was thinking, okay, I don't have anything to deal with it, so I'm just going to push forward, ignore it. Over here, he goes in the magic phase. His shooting is horrible. He only has one thing that shoots so far, and because the other things are in range. But yeah, he does Hand of Gork, and he moves the Squig herd forward. And doing so allows me to charge it in my turn, so that's what I do. Turn 2, I charge the squig herd, um, and then I move my units around, and I bring my Dark Riders to support, and hopefully I'll be able to shoot this Mango Squig down before he hits my chariot. It looks like I do. Either I shot it or I used a fireball to kill it, because that's where my level 1 fire mage is. And then going over to here, you see that I destroy the squig herd. I do lose about a third of my unit to do so. But yeah, now it's out of the way, and I probably run forward a little bit, but I didn't take a picture of it. So now we're going to go into his turn 3. With me bringing my Dark Riders over to support the Mangler Squid, I brought them fairly close to those Black Orcs, so it's going to give them opportunity to charge it. And so that's what he does. He declares a charge. I flee, so he failed charges. He moves up a couple inches. Over here, unfortunately for him, his Savage Orcs charge my witches, and they just roll pathetically low. It was a very makeable charge, and he just rolled horrible. Over here, it looks like the Goblins, I think they suffer from animosity. And then his big unit moves forward and just releases the Fanatics. So I have to deal with that now. Here's a wider shot of the Fanatics with my army. And then over here, his Mango Squig just kind of piddles about. This made me feel like I was so genius. I know I'm not breaking any new ground here, but once those Mango Squigs, if you let them hit your unit, and you let them hit a big unit, I mean, they really don't matter that much. The opponent can't really direct where they go. There's a good chance that they'll just kind of like go nowhere, like my opponents did. So yeah, I'm not worried about it anymore. I'm just going to move forward. If he gets lucky and it happens to move back towards my lines, then good for him. I just don't think it's really going to do that much damage. I think the most damage it comes from is getting stepped on. Like if you bring your unit into combat like I have before, and destroy it that way, it takes a lot of damage. So just ignore it. Okay, so I'm going to start my turn with a pretty big charge. It's going to be the Executioners against the Night Goblins. The Night Goblin horde. I probably was going to charge my Cauldron also, but when I did it with the Executioners, he chose to flee. He didn't want any part of it, and so I fail that charge, but I don't go through any Fanatics. I kind of roll pretty low, and then my Dark Riders rally, and they're moved to there, I guess, to shoot at that Fanatic to clear a way for me. And then over there in the distance, here's a better picture. My witches are right in front of the Savage Orcs, and it's a pretty easy charge, but I'd have to go through a Fanatic, and it's going to do probably enough damage to me to make me kind of useless against those Savage Orcs. So I'm just going to use the Fanatic as a screen, hopefully to take out some of his Orcs if he decides to charge me. But yeah, we're going to have a little Mexican standoff between us, the Fanatic, the witches, and the frenzied Orcs. Okay, so we go into his turn, and he doesn't want to charge the Fanatic either, so he just stays as it is. He doesn't declare a charge at all, and I guess he's going to wait for the Fanatic to move. So, it works out well. Those Fanatics and the Mangler Squigs, Skarsnik holding me back has really kept us out of the fight. It's really slowed down the game a lot. The game's going by fast, the turns are, but we're not getting anywhere on the board. If you notice, it's turn 4 and we're still in the back. We're just now getting the center. And also, this is probably something I'll mention in the end of the video, but my spearmen and my witches have never been in a good position in this game. They're over there on the far right, protecting my flank from nothing, really. There was that one Mangler Squig, so yeah, there's two very good units that are just not going to play a very big part in the game. But here's what the board looks like overall in his movement. His squig just moving around. And then here, I guess some Fanatics died or moved out of the way. And then, the Doom Diver. Yeah, this is where the Doom Diver finally hit. So we're in turn 4 and his artillery finally works. And he does a good number against my Executioners. And then I guess that ends his turn. Okay, so now that the way is open, there's no more Fanatics in the way. I go ahead and make that charge with my witches. I'm happy to oblige. I don't feel like I'm going to win this particular battle because he does outnumber me, but I'm hoping to kind of use them as sort of like a kamikaze unit, do a ton of damage, and then whatever unit can come up behind them and mop up. And you know, here's my witches. I'm trying so desperately to turn the corner and get into combat. Oh, I think I get desperate and I just try to charge and I fail. But yeah, they're completely out of position. But now they're facing the right way, I guess, instead of just facing towards an empty board edge. And then my Dark Riders, they rally. They were already rallied. They just move into the forest, which releases the fanatics that were in the bowmen. At the time, I didn't know the bowmen had fanatics, so I was surprised. And this is probably going to slow movement some more. This is the board on the left, and this is the board on the right after the fanatics are released, getting ready for combat. Oh, but first, let's do shooting and magic. This looks like I got off a fireball again. Maybe a couple Dark Riders peppered the Black Orcs. And that pretty much makes that unit ineffective. I mean, 4 Black Orcs are not very intimidating, are not intimidating. And then here is another picture, I guess. And so we go into combat. So this is when I do poison wounds. He goes ahead and just rolls the saves for poisoned, and I kill 5 of them. And then we go into regular wounds, and I kill a bunch more. So I do a ton of wounds. He kills a couple, but I'm sure he was disappointed with the amount he killed. And they break, and I run them down. So I've locked down the right flank, and I have most of my force over on the right flank. So that gets us to turn 5, and my opponent doesn't declare any charges. He does a little bit of moving, a little shuffling, forming a battle line, jumps into magic, and does the Foot of Gork right onto my 14 elf Bleak Sword unit, and does a number. He kills all but the girl and one guy. I know he shoots his Doom Diver, and I get lucky, and he only kills one guy. Fortunately, I break, I flee, I run into the river. I think the pond was something special. I don't remember what it was, but I have taken wounds so far, so I run, and I trip, and apparently I drown, because then she dies. So there she is, dead as doornail. My sources dies all these bizarre ways, but yeah, she drowns, and then short bows kill 2 of my number, and I pass my dangerous terrain checks, so the riders flee. And that pretty much ends his turn. We go into turn 5 for the Dark Elves. My turn 5 is very short. My only shooting's fleeing. Most of my magic is now dead. I only have a level 1 fireball sorceress, so she gets stopped pretty easily. It's a lot of me just turning to face and moving up as close as I can, so maybe then turn 6 I can get a kill. So let's go into his next turn. Okay, so Orks and Goblins, turn 6. We pull out the fences again because they were there the whole time, but he'd removed it because his hordes are on top of him. So he just gets behind the fences. This fanatic moves in the way of the archers. Some magic does some superficial damage to my witch elves. And the Mingler checks in to show that he's still alive. Alright, and just in time for the end of the game, we get a major little battle going on. His main part of his army versus my favorite part of the army, my most killy part of the army, the Executioners, and the Cauldron Blood. Looks like I'm taking some casualties, probably from the special rule that Skarsnik has, where if you fail difficult terrain checks, you die. And then me just using movement, stupid units out of position. My Dark Riders rally and I guess move up here to shoot. Oh, he did have a Night Goblin Shaman. So yep, Night Goblin Shaman, and I shot him, so dead. So it's not on the list, but he had one. And then go into combat, lose a couple more guys, I guess. It looks like, I don't know. And then yep, do a number on him, kill a lot. So now he has to take a break check since I won, and dead. Nope, not there anymore. So they died. Looks like I ran them down. Apparently we played a turn 7. Orcs and Goblins turn 7. We must have thought that Dark Elves went first, even though Orcs did. So there we go. They turn around, shoot at my Dark Riders, kill them, and the Orcs and Goblins continue to flee. So yeah, that was the last of the pictures. So I guess we ended it after turn 7 of the Orcs. And looking at it, I don't have the points in front of me, but if I'm going to eyeball it and guess, I can probably say it's safe to assume that the Dark Elves won that. The Executioners, the Spearmen, both units of Witches, and the Cauldron are still alive, and everything of the Orcs is pretty much dead or fleeing, except for the Doom Diver and the crazy mango swig in the backfield. But yeah, it was a fun game. I always enjoy playing this opponent. He has a couple armies. Pretty much the only people who play Warhammer here in Hawaii have like multiple armies, and here I am with the Dark Elves. I do have some Empire, and I'm starting Chaos, so we'll see what I can pull together. But yeah, so it's been a while since I played this game. I don't remember exactly what I was thinking, but I guess things I would do differently, I like to do that at the end of my videos, is not put my witches on that far flank over there with the spearmen. Probably never even put the spearmen over there. I don't know what I was thinking, why I thought that that was such an important flank to guard with the spearmen when there was only really the mango squig. So I would have put it on the left this time. This last time I also used my sorcerers with the sacrificial dagger. It's really expensive now. It's no longer cheesy, so don't put in my army. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm trying out different things and it's just not working out. Well, I hope you enjoyed this very late battle report. I feel like I remembered it pretty well. I don't remember all the details, but I pretty much remember how it happened. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the next ones, and if you like it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.